Sorry Norco, I don't want to be rude, don't want to make this kind of video, but this is a piece of shit. It's a mountain bike that you literally can't do any mountain biking on. So we're on the way up to the NATO base, the back way from my house. I basically live on the other side of the NATO base from Finale. Got the Norco, we finished it, we set everything up, we bled the brakes, we torqued all the bolts. So we're going to drive up to the NATO base and do a couple of runs to give it a shakedown. This road's a bit rough. Do you think we need to do a bolt check halfway up the road?
Probably wait to the top.
It has been a few minutes of rough, bumpy road, and the bike in the back of the car, something might have come loose. If we wait to the top, the bolts might have fallen out by then. It's way worse than I was expecting. Nothing a Clio can't handle. Mark 3, baby.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. So I did one bolt check on the way up the hill in the back of the car, just in case. Now Matt's giving it just a little check in the car park.
Fucking weird.
How's the steering lock?
Pretty good.
I think it's time for a bolt check.
Yeah, probably.
We did do one lap around the car park. Let's got the torque wrench ready. Finally made it. 2 bolt checks already. Just going to ride up to the top and get into the first trail, see how it goes. See you there. Can you just walk up the toolbox to the base to do another bolt check before we drop in?
No problem.
It's about 100 metres to the top, so. Right, we made it. First run. Bolt's still on. Oh. Woo. Oh my god, this torque is so good. Send it. Sort of a good start. It's bloody quiet now. Something feels strange. I think the front's too low or the bike's too short, which is my main concern. I bought the large and I should really have the extra large, but it wasn't too bad before. We've made everything shorter. It does feel a bit like the bar's too close to me. Yeah, the fork feels great. Back feels good actually. It's quiet, smooth. Bolts are still on. I'm not sure if that big one in the middle's moved. I was not instantly confident as I dropped in. So let's see. Well, that was nice tracking across that off camber. Should have gone higher. Oh, my fucking chain's off! You fucking shit! All that fucking time and effort. What the f, man? All that time and effort. Matt has spent hours and hours rebuilding this bike. Oh, chain's off already. How long's that? A minute of riding slow? Come on, man. What the? I would have changed the cranks and put a narrow wide chainring on, but I can't get the cranks off. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's a bit fluffy. Oh, that is lots of track. Ah! Yeah, it's feeling good, man. The brakes are fantastic. These brakes, man. Whoa. Perfect.
Maria c'è, il dottor Di Maria.
Scusa.
Il dottor Di Maria.
Scusa.
Ah, è lui. Il dottor Di Maria. Trails are beautiful. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, some dust there. Right, overall so good. It is too small.
I might have to abandon stage 3 of the project and do it with a bike that fits better. The lean angle is fantastic. With a short offset, you can do a lot more leaning and less steering for around the corners. The downside of that at the moment is, and I'm getting quite a lot of deflection off stuff when leant over.
How was the steering?
Steering was mostly really good. The offset's so short you can't really turn the handlebars to turn. You have to lean, but that's good because the lean angle is insane. You can lean over really far, and because the offset's shorter, the bike turns less, so you get like a longer arc around the corners, which is better if you want to go faster. Also allows you to lean over like earlier before the corner and further out towards the end of the corner, because you get longer arc, so you leant over for a lot longer, which is really nice on some corners. Leant over way like early into the corner and get like a nice setup, get your body in shape ready for the corner. But there was a lot of deflection on the front wheel, but this could, like when you leant over for longer, so then you're hitting more like little rocks and roots and getting more deflection on the front wheel. And in order of things that it could be: 1, the tyre compound, the tyre shape and the side knobs. But normally that tyre is really good for leaning over, and it's quite rounded and it's got really good support as you lean over.
Which tyre?
The eddy current. Then it could be the tyre pressure, that would be the next thing to check or lower. Then that front wheel is Newman's strongest, heaviest downhill e-bike front wheel, stiffest wheel. So it could be the rims too stiff. It's also a brand new wheel and we haven't dropped the spoke tensions yet. Could be the spoke tensions too high. And then after that it could also be the rear shock's definitely soft on compression compared to the fork. As you turn, you always compress into the travel because you're turning and it's loading the bike. It could be caused by you lean into the corner, you're going through the travel, there's less compression on the rear compared to the front. It goes through too much rear travel compared to the front. The front comes light, the front is then light, and it's either understeering or deflecting off the little trail noise. And there is a lot of trail noise on these trails, even though they're quite smooth in general. There are lots of little rocks and little edges of roots and little bits of gravel and stuff that can knock you off path when you leant over. So yeah, the first would be check the tyre pressure, maybe drop that 1 or 2 psi. We've got no cush core in the front. We could easily solve it. Holy
Jeez.
fucking shit, man.
Fucking Italian drivers.
Oh.
Tire pressure?
What was the tyre pressure?
21.
21. So it's pretty low anyway. You could definitely solve it. If you had cush core in, you could just drop it the front to like 17 and I'm sure it would kill it. But I reckon we drop the tyre pressure a bit, then later after lunch drop the spoke tensions, and we can't solve the shock because we need to get the shock retuned or a new shock. So if you had a Cane Creek Kitsuma or double barrel, which has a massive range of adjustment, you could easily check it just by winding on a few clicks at low speed, which I think would solve it. That shock's just already fully closed and it's got a really narrow range of adjustment as far as I can tell. Like I keep saying, these companies won't publish the damping curves, so you're just playing guessing games really. Front. Oh, nearly lost the chain, held it on. Oh, hit the steering lock there. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but the back is so... There's no compression damping basically. Essentially no compression damping. I could go to the RockShox website and check the graph. It tells you how much compression damping there is, but they don't publish that data. It's not something that the customers need to know. The fork, man, holy shit, it's unbelievable. Yeah, the fork, wow. It just stays so high in the travel. Not really much sag. I think it's 14%. But it's so supple and just fucking moves out of the way for everything. It is really quiet if you're not going that fast. I put some rubber tape on this morning before I left. So it is generally really quiet, but you're hitting some bigger bumps. I think the chain's rattling off the bash guard, which is really far away from the chainring. Yeah, it sounds like the chain is starting to detach itself from the bottom of the non-narrow wide chainring that has hardly any chain wrap around it. I think it's actually coming off here to here somewhere, and then just rattling against that, and then you put a pedal in and it puts it back on. With a fork, man. Woo! It's so stable. Wow. Some big holes covered in leaves. Oh my. I don't know if you can see in that last clip the understeer as I went into the compression. You could just feel the back going through way too much travel because there's super light on the LSC, which is fully closed. And when it goes through the travel, you get the understeer because your front goes light, because your chassis is not stable, it's going down. So you're in a nice balanced position, you're pushing something, back goes through too much travel, your front comes light, and then you can understeer or more easily deflect off things. But just one run so far, so we'll see. Where are we at so far? It's too small for me, which is my own fault. We did change the stem last minute yesterday to a 50mm with an adjustable 45-55, because we realised if the crown's on backwards, the direct mount stem bolt holes move back 12mm. So with a 30mm stem, it was actually 18mm stem. I want it to be similar as possible to the offset. So we put the 50 on, minus 12, 38. So we've got 38mm stem, 36mm offset. Too low at the front, I can't get it any higher. And as it gets higher, it makes it feel shorter. Way better than before though. This should be a good test through the rough stuff. Oh, that's new. Chains off. Put the chains off. Fuck, I didn't do a bolt check. Quick bolt check, sorted. I did like 15 minutes of riding without a bolt check. And that's technically a long and difficult trail, so you should do it. It's all changed. I'm just not local enough anymore. I don't know what's happening. Oh, fuck. Don't know what happened there, but the crank's just jammed as I jumped off that jump. The lean angle is unbelievable. It's fucking off again. It's come off. Fucking piece of shit, man. That's definitely a product manager design flaw. Oh, chain's off. Fucking hell. I'm not bullshitting, it's off. Again. And that's someone getting shot by a hunter. The lean angle. Woo! Beautiful. The fork. Oh! The fork, man. Woo! Chain's off. Fucking chain's off. Who designs this stuff, man, and sells it to people for fucking £5 grand? Oh, we got her, we saved it, it's back on. Only came half off that time. Positives, my favourite grips and favourite bar are fine. Every time we get the camera out, the noise starts. There's literally 10 Harley Davidsons just turned up. Every time we get the camera out, this happens anywhere. Positives, my push on grips are great. The brakes are unbelievably good compared to those other brakes, especially with a bit of grip tape that Matt, who's behind the camera, put on. Brakes are amazing, quiet, no squeaking, no change, tons of power, super light lever feel. Drop post is good, that works. Mullet feels good, it's just too short and too low at the front. can do to get the front higher, but we're out of options. The chains just come off 4 or 5 times in that run. And just after I turned off the GoPro, it came off properly and I lost my shit. And it even came off this one. Oh, that's why that's up. It came off the top jockey and went down between the jockey wheel and the guide. See there? I think the chain got bent when it came off one time. And this is funny. Derailleurs are great. You even get chunks of wood stuck in your cassette on your mountain bike when you go mountain biking, and you can't use the top 2 gears at all. So I packed the toolbox this morning and bought all the essentials you could possibly need. This is basically a full World Cup mechanic toolkit. And I reckon with this one and this guy we can fix this chain like clockwork. Back at the top of the hill now, we're just having a look at the frame bolts. Matt the mechanic. Some interesting observations. So that's an axle through the shock eyelet. This side is still in line. This side, the paint's not that great. We need to get a better pen, but it's definitely moved like 1/4 of a turn. This is another axle through the frame, and that one's moved slightly on both sides. This one's good, this one's good, this one's good. This one on the right hand side has moved slightly, we think. And this main axle, the whole thing's rotated. The axles rotating aren't really a problem if the bolts stay tight, so the bolt's still in the same place, but it's rotated from there. And yeah, this is the solid axle from same as the other side. That's moved slightly, but fine. That one's good. Yeah, this one has opened 1/4 of a turn maybe. And then the one we lost, that has moved, what's that, 1/8 of a turn? And that's definitely moved. And we didn't actually do any bolt checks on the way. That's 20 minutes of riding. That was pure satire or bad comedy. That one's definitely come open. And they were cleaned, Loctite, not Loctite 242. Maybe that's the problem.
Could be.
We use like a generic own brand Loctite. Maybe it's because it's not 242. But the bolts were clean, Loctite, torque, 20 minutes of riding, which is about half of what I managed before. I reckon I'm not going to torque that up. I'm going to do another run and see if it comes loose. And if we lose it, it's not the end of the world because we have got a spare now. We just put the torque wrench in just to check. Well, Matt just put the torque wrench in and it is loose already. But we're going to leave it there and see if it can do another 20 minutes of riding. That's better. Woo. More confident. Oh, the lean angle is just unreal. Up. Fucking chains off again. Ugh. What a waste of my fucking time. What the fuck is unbelievable? It's completely come off. Completely off. What the fuck? Right, I'm gonna try again for a refund on this bike because it is basically unusable. It's hilarious. Fucking chains off again! What the fuck? I did like 20 seconds. Slowly. Oh my god. Unbelievable. I can sort of improve the front wheel deflection by getting more front weight on the front wheel. That does help it, but it's a bit too short to really want to commit to it. Oh, the lean angle is just... Oh, chain's off maybe? Fucking off again completely. It's off again in the same run. What the hell? Who, honestly, now I don't want to be a dick, but There's no way that this bike in this setup has been tested, because it doesn't work. The changes, I think that's 4 or 5 times already. Incredible. And the bolts come another 1/8 of a turn, just in that bit of trail. So yeah, the lean angle's unreal, it's great. The fork's great, the brakes are great, the dropper post works. The chain just does not stay on. Again, the bolt's like half a turn loose now. Yeah, deflection again. I'm going to try and drop a bit of air pressure. It's exactly 2.5 psi this. I've lost my valve cap. It's off. Literally from the fire road, it's off again. What the hell? Oh, hit the steering lock. Chains off. Oh, no, saved it. Just about saved it. Oh, no, it's come off. Came off on the road. Just about saved it on the bumpy section. Rolled along the road for 10 metres. And it fell off again. What the hell? Just coming off there. Even the chain guy's not designed to keep the chain on. What the hell? Sorry, Norco. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to make this kind of video. But this is a piece of shit. It's a mountain bike that you literally can't do any mountain biking on. Let's check the bolt. It looks to me like halfway open. Might be 1.5 by now. So I'm going to call it a day at the end of this run, because we spent all day yesterday prepping the bike, getting up early, packing the bike in the car, went to pick up Matt, drove to here, drove up the hill, used fuel, time, energy, all that stuff. And you can't ride it, you cannot ride it like a mountain bike. It doesn't work. So I'm going to call it a day and go and do something useful in my life, hopefully. Chain's trying to come off. Oh, it's come off again. Came off just on that little section. I did see at that time, it actually came off the top first. I can't prove this, but it looked like it came off the top first. Then when I pedalled, it pulled the whole thing off. So it's even worse than I thought, actually, because I thought it was coming off the bottom first. But it's actually coming off the chain guide first. Oh, chain's come off. That's funny, isn't it? Fucking hell. Again? So I want to get something positive out of this review, like some actual review of the bike. It's basically impossible. It is nice to ride on the pedals while the chain's on. It is pretty smooth. It is pretty smooth to my feet, but I'm sure there is some pedal kickback. But that's pretty good. The shape of the bike's nice. The chain seems to be a decent length. Yeah, the rear suspension's pretty nice and smooth. It's stable under braking. Corners nicely. And then the chain falls off and you have to stop. I do see now why. Chain's off, chain's fucking off. And it's so dangerous when the chain comes off in sections like that. Oh my god. What the hell? Oh no, it's jammed. Great. Stay calm. It's only a £5 bike that you pay for with your own money. Well, Sainsbury's money. Oh my. I lost count now, that's way over 10. Oh. The fork, man. The fork's amazing. Unbelievable. I just can't get into it, I have to keep stopping. I see now why they recommended checking the bolts on the way down, because It's jammed, it's fucking jammed. Jammed! Jammed inside pedal down into a corner. That's not dangerous. Oh god. Even better. This is how good mountain bikes are. Now the chain has come off this jockey wheel. Fucking SRAM piece of shit. Jesus Christ. I'm so happy I can just say whatever I want now. Because that is a piece of shit that doesn't work. Oh no, it's come off the front. Great. I've got 3 female followers now, so I need to keep my hair looking good. Jokes aside, we did one full run from the NATO base to the bottom. It's like 20 minutes. I stopped every minute to put the chain back on. Then the bolts were coming loose, and then I've done another run, and this bolt has definitely come loose. So I'm gonna get a bit closer. Put the Allen key in. And where was I? There. Half a turn. So 3/4 of a turn. 3/4 of a turn in 2 runs. Now I'm not a mechanical engineer. I barely got through high school with any degrees. But this side hasn't come loose, and they're both normal threads. This side hasn't come loose, this side's the opposite way, so it's trying to undo the bolt as it's compressing all the time. I guess that's why it's come loose, even though it's thread locked, torqued perfectly. And the chain has come off 20 times in 2 runs. It's like literally unrideable. It's a mountain bike that you can't ride. So I'm gonna give up because there's a few really dangerous sections then in steep stuff, and it locked up, and I cranks were like locked up or down one time, left pedal down into a left hand corner. It's another day wasted trying to ride a £5 mountain bike. I'm going to push really hard for a refund now because it is not rideable and the bolt has come loose, we've proven it. So I'm going to push hard for a refund, try and get the money back, because it's a mountain bike that you can't mountain bike on. It's not fit for purpose. I did want to make this a positive video, and I hoped it would be positive. The positives are the dropper post that I put on is great, although now it's all scratched. The brakes that we put on are great compared to the standard ones. The fork is fantastic. The steering's interesting. My pedals work. The water bottle still works, and the pump works. Apart from that, you can't use it for mountain biking. So yeah, I'm gonna push hard for a refund, see what happens, because I don't think this has ever really happened in the bike industry before. But let's push, see what happens. Fighting for the consumers.
What are you doing?
Oh, because the multi-tool's so short, I'm just using the Nipex to get some more leverage to get it tight enough. I told you, don't film me tightening it without the torque wrench, because now my warranty's void. Jesus Christ, turn it off.